Now I know what you're thinking. The title is about Falcon and Winter Soldier, but surely you can't tell their stories without Captain America. No, just hear me out. Captain America's been through a lot, losing many allies along the way, but today we're going to be focusing on these two sidekicks, because let's face it, they are just sidekicks. Until now. Let's dive in. Sergeant James Buchanan Barnes, or Bucky, is a World War II veteran, a former officer of the 107th Infantry Regiment and best friend of Steve Rogers since childhood. Barnes enlisted into the Army and was assigned into the 107th Infantry in 1943. His regiment was captured by Hydra, where Barnes was experimented on by Arnim Zola. Barnes, along with whoever still remained from his regiment, were later rescued by Rogers, who had become Captain America during Barnes' absence. Upon joining forces in the continuing war, Barnes and Rogers formed the Howling Commandos to battle the Red Skull's forces. However, during an attempt to finally capture Zola in the Austrian Alps, Barnes was caught in their ambush and plummeted hundreds of feet from a train as there was no body recovered. Barnes was then presumed deceased, but officially listed as missing in action. Unbeknownst to his team, Barnes' experimentations allowed him to survive the fall, albeit with the loss of his left arm. Once found by the Soviet Union and Hydra, Barnes was further experimented on, granting him superhuman abilities, and was subsequently brainwashed and armed with a new cybernetic limb in order to become their operative, known as the Winter Soldier. Over the next 50 years, he would eliminate anyone who posed any threat to Hydra, including Howard Stark and his wife, Maria. Between all of these assassination missions, the Winter Soldier would be put into a cryogenic stasis to ensure his longevity. In 2014, the Winter Soldier had been ordered by Alexander Pierce to assassinate Nick Fury, in order to ensure that all Pierce's schemes with Project Insight could go ahead.
Your name is James Buchanan Barnes. Shut up!
However, the Winter Soldier was challenged by Steve Rogers, which had triggered him to begin remembering his prior life. In the wake of their battle at Triskelion, Barnes, free from his brainwashing, deserted Hydra in order to remember his past and end his long, violent history. 2 years later, Barnes was then framed for the bombing of the Vienna International Center, which claimed the life of T'Chaka, among many other innocents. While the Black Panther sought revenge for his father's death, Barnes had been repeatedly saved by Captain America, which sparked the Avengers Civil War as a team of Avengers, led by Iron Man, was sent to capture him. However, they eventually learned that Helmut Zemo framed Barnes and reactivated his brainwashing, so that Zemo could reveal that Barnes had murdered Stark's parents years ago. Having just survived Stark's revenge attempt, Barnes was given amnesty in Wakanda by T'Challa and was placed in his cryostasis, until all Hydra's control triggers could be removed from his mind. Barnes was eventually freed of his brainwashing by the efforts of Shuri. However, as Thanos had attempted to kill Vision for the Mind Stone, Barnes returned to combat to stop the Mad Titan's plans. Receiving his new vibranium arm, Barnes joined T'Challa and the Avengers to help fight off the threat, only for Thanos to defeat them and assemble all of the Infinity Stones. Barnes was subsequently disintegrated as Thanos eliminated half of all life in the universe. In 2023, Barnes was resurrected by Hulk, as he had then participated in the final battle against Thanos' forces. In the aftermath of the battle, he attended the funeral of Stark with all the other heroes. Later on, Barnes bid Rogers farewell, knowing of his true intentions to travel back to the 1940s in order to live with Peggy Carter. Barnes was then present to witness Rogers, a much older man, and return home in order to then choose Sam Wilson to pass the shield on to. Samuel Thomas Wilson, or Sam, better known as Falcon, is a former United States Air Force pararescue airman who left active duty when his wingman, Riley, died in combat, instead of choosing to help other veterans suffering from PTSD. At this time, Wilson met Captain America and was drawn into his conflict with Hydra, as Captain America needed help from anyone not associated with the shield, due to them being infiltrated by Hydra. Retaking his title as the Falcon, Wilson had then assisted in destroying all of Alexander Pierce's schemes of world domination. Following their victory against Pierce's Hydra unit, Falcon agreed to assist Captain America in tracking down the Winter Soldier, who was in fact Captain America's close friend who had been brainwashed. He was then recruited into the Avengers, since their original team had been disbanded following the defeat of Ultron. During his time with the Avengers, Falcon briefly encountered Ant-Man before assisting in defeating Crossbones. In the aftermath of several battles that had killed civilians, the Avengers were then forced into following the Sokovia Accords, putting them all under the government's full control. However, as the Winter Soldier was blamed for terrorist attacks by Helmut Zemo, Falcon stood by Captain America, protecting the Winter Soldier, which inadvertently caused the Avengers Civil War. In the wake of this clash, Falcon and several other Avengers who were loyal to Captain America were defeated by Iron Man and locked into the raft, until Captain America freed them, making them fugitives. While the Avengers were still disbanded, the Earth had come under attack by Thanos and his Black Order, bringing Falcon and his allies out of hiding. Learning that Thanos intended to steal the Mind Stone from Vision, Falcon joined the Avengers in taking Vision to Wakanda for his protection, where they then had to keep Thanos' forces back. However, they were eventually defeated as Thanos claimed the Infinity Stones and used them to cause the snap, ending trillions of lives, including Falcon. Eventually, that snap was undone by the surviving Avengers, as Falcon rejoined their battles against Thanos, finally defeating him.
I am
at the cost of Tony Stark's life. In the aftermath of the battle, Falcon learned that Captain America returned to the past and had lived a full life with Peggy Carter, seeing him return as an old man and passing his shield down to Falcon. Baron Helmut Zemo is a former colonel with the Sokovian Armed Forces and the commander of the EKO Scorpion. Following the Battle of Sokovia, Zemo became the terrorist mastermind who sought his revenge against the Avengers after losing his family. Knowing he was no match against the Avengers, Zemo had planned to have them destroy themselves by framing the Winter Soldier for killing T'Challa, which caused Captain America to defend his friend Barnes from, well, everyone, thus kickstarting the Avengers Civil War, in which Iron Man led their manhunt for Barnes, and Zemo allowed Stark to discover that Barnes was responsible for his parents' murder. With the Avengers now in ruins, Zemo tried to shoot himself, but was captured by Black Panther and given to the Joint Counter-Terrorist Center for his imprisonment. So now you basically get what these characters are up to at this point. So now's your turn. What are your thoughts about the Falcon and Winter Soldier show coming up? What do you think about Baron Zemo coming back possibly? And like always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.